I want to make a quick video on installing Euro taillights because I just did that on my car, and I found a lot of the videos either were an hour long or just didn't cover parts of this installation. So I used the OEM Mark 7.5 Euro tails as well as the Zero815 harness. And I was confused by a few things. So with the Zero815 harness, you need to run one wire between the two tails and then 2 wires down here. So the only trim that needs to be removed is this trim piece, and these two. Now, that's not what I was confused about. What I was confused about was the fact that these tails come with a harness from Volkswagen, but I didn't understand, why no one was using it. And this diagram pretty much shows it. It seems like you have to run it all the way up to the BCM, which is underneath the driver's footwell. So you'd have to run that through the car, which wouldn't be that hard, but I guess I'm at the stage of modding cars where I'd rather not do that for the sake of 150 bucks. But so to remove these tails, all I had to do was take these screws out. To remove these tails, all I had to do was this plastic thumb screw, which I suppose you can't see. You can sort of see it. There's this plastic thumb screw, and all I did, you see, I saw a few videos where they put trim tools in here and pry, and you can mar up your paint. Just pretty stupid to me. All I did was, once I took this thumb screw out, I pushed from the back, and it popped out. I just had to be a little careful, but all the clips came out well on both sides. And the second thing, and it's funny, I was reading on Reddit the day I installed these, are a few issues that people have with fitment, where they won't fit up right or you just can't get them to go in. So there's a tab in the middle on the bottom of the taillight, and I wish I had the old taillights here to demonstrate it. That one's difficult to get in, but there's also these screw holes. There's 2 T15s, and what you need is you really need an insanely thin T15, almost the same thickness as the shaft. You see here I have another T15, and this shaft here is just a little bit too thick to fit in, so I had to go and buy a few. And if you don't do that, then these just won't fit upright, and you might not expect it just from 2 adjustment screws pushing in that it might not fit right on this end. But it all makes sense, so that's actually really important to have one of those on hand before you do the install. And I think the only other thing that's worth noting about this install that many others haven't is with this harness. This is a 2018 GTI. It still works without the coating. So obviously I need to code in the dynamics, and I don't have an OBD11, but I guess I was confused thinking for any functionality it would be necessary, but I'm getting everything from these. So it's still drivable. You just have that yellow bar at the back, which to me, it's fine, and you can even, for the time being, disconnect the wire that goes across between the 2 lights, and I believe that actually turned off that yellow bar. So it's totally drivable if you do this swap and you either don't have your VAGCOM or an OBD11 on hand. I didn't realize that my VAGCOM cable doesn't work on MQB, so I'm gonna have to get a new one. But that's really it for the install. Honestly, it's not that bad. To take off this trim piece, all you do is I stuck my fingers under and I pulled. I didn't need to use any trim removal tools. And same with here, I stuck my hand under and I pulled, it came off in one piece. And sometimes it can be useful just to see what these trim pieces look like. You can see the the one that goes here against the headliner has a lot of these metal tabs. And the same deal with the one that goes on the hatch. But this one's a lot sturdier of a piece of plastic, so I feel a little more comfortable prying on it. This one I stuck my hand on and I just worked my way across. So yeah, I think that's all I would want to see if I'm really thinking about this install, especially on a Mark 7.5. I know it's a topic that's been beat to death, but just trying to add my value and maybe help someone out who's watched a few videos and doesn't have the attention span to watch some of the longer ones. So yeah, that's that.